Hey everybody, it's the Ancient Meddler, and sorry to have my video for 1476's Jade Fire cut off. I don't know why. It's kind of mysterious. Maybe I hit the stop button instead of the pause button or something, which is probably will happen. But I didn't realize it, so I went ahead and reacted to the whole thing and had a bunch of great things that I wanted to tell you, or that I did tell you, but you're never going to hear them because that's lost forever. So I thought about just deleting it and redoing the whole thing, but I don't want to redo the whole thing. I mean, I already spent 2 minutes talking and going over stuff. So what I'll do is I'll just keep going, and maybe what I can do is try to splice them together or something in Adobe Premiere, or I'll just have them as two separate things, and I'll put some comments in there so you know. So this is taking up right where we left off before, and so they had just, in the video, the guy had just made this symbol, which is, you can't see my arms, I'm too close. This, your arms are in the V. Um, that's the hermetic symbol. And what I mean by hermetic, it's the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn is a secret society derived from, mostly derived from Freemasonry, but also includes aspects of Qabalah and some other things thrown in as well. And in their literature, they have a lot of symbolism and things, and so a big part of the ceremonies is this symbolic initiation and the raising of a person from our lower self, which is physical and tied to the physical world, and it's all about material things and struggling through the grind of day-to-day life, and denial, blindness of our true higher self and our true inner self and the divine light that is inside of us, around us, and in all things. And the initiation ceremonies, the goal of them is to sublimate the ego through a symbolic death of the physical being and a resurrection into the light and a raising of our consciousness from the lower plane of the physical world to the higher plane of the divine world. And so that's what this ritual is doing in this video. That's what they're doing. They're actually carrying out a hermetic initiation. And it's not the first degree initiation. I think it's at least the third degree initiation. I'm not sure. I'd have to go check my literature to make sure. But it's also connected, very, very closely connected to the third degree of masonry, which is the master Mason degree, in which the candidate for initiation is ritually sacrificed, murdered. In some ways of viewing it's a ritual sacrifice, in other ways of viewing it, it's a murder. And in some ways of looking at it, it was voluntary. So it's not necessarily murder, it's you are allowing yourself to be sacrificing the lower self to elevate yourself to the higher. Anyway, you'll see in a minute as we go forward, but that's kind of what's going on here. Is that this is a very, very similar, if not I won't say exactly the same, but it's very similar to initiation ceremonies in multiple different occult secret societies. Just so you know. Would you like to? Would you actually like to watch it instead of watching me? Let's back up. Turn the music on. I'm so confused. All right, here we go. Right, so he's drinking from the cup, or he's taking the cup. It's empty. So these are, everything we see here is very symbolic. So the guy holding the mirror, he's one of the initiators. He's responsible for helping to guide you on your path through the ceremony of initiation. And in a ceremony of initiation, it's typically done in a lodge or a temple, and those things, it's a very close space, right? But there's a journey that takes place. It's a spiritual journey, and it's represented through various stages of the initiation process. And what they're showing is more of a real world journey where you're wandering the path of enlightenment and having a tower. There's symbolic reasons why there's a tower. I won't get into them, but there are symbolic reasons behind that. The path in the woods is also very symbolic. The mirror he's holding up, and what is, if you think about what is a mirror, it reflects yourself, right? When you look into a mirror, what do you see? You see yourself, but are you seeing your true self? Or are you seeing the facade of yourself? Or are you seeing your true inner self? And when he looked in the mirror, he saw a dead, shrouded body covered in blood, right? He was seeing it was a portent of the future of himself, his sacrificing of his physical being, which is not the true self. It's the false self. Okay, and that was there we go. So this is something very similar to what you find in Masonry, Freemasonry, or the Masonic Lodge, in their initiation ceremonies for their master Mason, in which the candidate for raising to Master Mason is playing the part of a man named Hiram Abiff, who was the architect who constructed Solomon's temple, and he had secret knowledge. Which is kind of represented as the password for the lodge, for the inner secrets of the lodge, right? The inner secrets of the temple. Because he was able to build Solomon's temple. He knew the secrets of whatever it was, building, architecture, whatever, right? And his junior Masons wanted the secret, and he wouldn't give it to them because they hadn't earned it yet. They hadn't earned the degree of Master Mason, so he could not give them the secret. He couldn't give them the password. And so they kill him. And so not only do they kill him, but they ritually murder him. I think they murdered him in the temple too. And using a mallet, which is what he was using here. And a mallet, it's one of the Mason's tools, which are symbolic. In Masonry, those tools include things like the compass and square, which you see, it's the symbol for Masonry, it's the compass and square thing, right? And then also a plumb bob, which is used to determine if something is straight up and down, right? A mallet, that's another tool. There's a whole layer of symbolism in Masonry. And so it's interesting that when they kill the guy, they strike him in the head with a mallet, which is what happens in Masonry. Now, this guy is, I'm looking at him, he's wearing a white robe, and a white robe is a robe of purity, but it's also a robe of like the first entrant, right? But it's covered in blood, and he's all bloody because he's been murdered, so he's dead. But he's got his arms raised in the sign of Osiris risen, which is, so he might not be the physical body, or he may be what's left of the physical body. I'm not sure what he represents. I think he represents the physical body. I'm not sure. Anyway, do you care? So I don't know what they're saying. I can't understand the lyrics, and I don't have the lyrics in front of me, so it might help if I actually did pay more attention to what they're saying. But everything that you see here is part of it's associated with the ritual ceremonies and the initiation ceremonies in different ways. Like the fact that he's crawling on the ground. There's a reason for that. So I'm going to predict what's going to happen with this. I actually, when I first watched it, I predicted. I've seen it now, so I know my prediction was correct. But what I said in the first time I went through this video was, when I saw this, I said, okay, I understand what's going on right now. This is an initiation ceremony into the secret society. They're doing a simulated execution, simulated death, and then there's going to be a simulated burial and a simulated resurrection. So just like with the story of Jesus, there was a death, a burial, and a resurrection in the mysteries, the mystery traditions, the occult secret societies, part of the initiation. You go through the same process. You go through the same steps. There is a death of the physical being, the death of the physical self, the burial of the physical body, and the sense of loss that you have, and thinking that it's over, and your great connection that you have consciously to your physical self. That connection has to be broken and severed, so that your true inner self can come through, and your consciousness can be raised to a higher level. And so that's kind of what the resurrection symbolizes, is now that your holy spirit, you so to speak, the divine light, or your holy guardian angel, or whatever you want to call it, can descend into you and bring you back to life and resurrect you. But you're now resurrected. You're a new being. You're a higher being than you were before. You are in a higher state of being. It's kind of the concept of the idea. So I was predicting that's what was going to happen. And so here, this is the symbolic burial. He's not wrapped in a shroud now, but in the Masonic ritual, he gets actually rolled up in like a carpet. There's a thing on the floor. It's like a carpet, and it's got a picture on it, a pattern on it. And for each different degree, they have a different one, right? And so when he's murdered, he's laid down on this thing, and he's rolled up into like roll up a dead body inside of a carpet, so you can throw it in the garbage or something, which represents being wrapped in a shroud and placed in a tomb, right? And so in the hermetic mysteries, they do a very similar thing, and that's what this. Remember when they showed the guy getting his throat cut? I don't think that was actually cutting his throat. I think that was a symbolic thing of telling him what the penalties were for betrayal of the oath, I think. Because in the rituals, they do talk about that if you do betray the oath, and that you will be cut like from ear to ear. There's a whole bunch of horrible things that they say will happen to you if you reveal your oath and you reveal the secrets of the organization. But there are no secrets anymore. It's all been revealed, so there's no penalties anymore. But I predict he's going to be shroud. There's the shroud. So he is going to be shrouded, covered with the mask. So I think that tells me that the guy in the white is not the physical body. It's it might be the higher self. I'm not sure. That's the sign of. So the sign he just made where he has his arm. Where am I? Not that. There I am. Too many things going on. So where he stands and he places his hands on his chest like this, that's the sign of Osiris slain, because it's like when a dead body, when you put them in the grave, they would cross their arms over their chest like that. I don't think they do that anymore. Maybe they still do. I don't know. But dead bodies quite often were seen with like this posture, their hands like this, and so that it's also a cross. Cross symbolizes a cross. But it's also it's called the symbol of Osiris slain. So Osiris was an Egyptian god who, like Jesus, died, was buried, and was resurrected. And often on the path of spiritual development, on the path of spiritual enlightenment, we are faced with challenges where we try to have a breakthrough and move beyond a certain point where we're kind of stuck, right? Where we want to make progress, but we're not making progress. We have these symbolic guardians of the path who are blocking our path and won't allow us to go beyond unless we can overcome them. And so I'm not quite sure that's what was represented there, but he was definitely, his path was blocked. There's a clear path. He was blocked from pursuing it, and he challenged the guardian of the path. You know, pushed him up against the tree, right? And then the guardian held up a mirror for him to gaze into, right? And so that's a very symbolic thing. So who's preventing you from moving forward? You are. It may look like someone else. It may look like some other external obstacle, but it's really ourself. And gazing in the mirror, you see yourself, right? So you realize you're the guardian. So now here he comes. He crawls over the body, and then he enters the body. Interesting. That's probably not a good place to stop because you can't tell what it is. Okay, so there we go. So now he's reached a point of achieving the degree that he's being initiated to. So he's at that point now where he's passed the challenges, he's passed the test, he's gone through the things to receive kind of the benefit for achieving this milestone or whatever, right? And so there's a chest, which, you know, we typically envision that a chest is going to contain riches or treasures or our wildest dream or whatever it is with that our heart seeks, the thing we want the most. It's inside this box, locked away. And now we've achieved our goal and we receive the box, the treasure box. And when we open it and look inside, we find it is empty. There is no treasure to be found in external things. The treasure is inside. It was always there. It will always be there. We just fail to see it. And by symbolically showing you that the chest is empty, the meaning is you already have received the thing you wish the most, your heart's desire, whatever it is you're trying to achieve. You already have it. You've always had it. You don't have to go and earn it because you've already earned it. It's already there. And the idea that you didn't have it is an illusion. And he resurrects. That's very fascinating. It was very interesting to me. I've never seen a music video like that, so I don't know what the song said. I don't really. I only heard 2 words, and that was "In Exile." At one point, I heard that. I really didn't pay attention to the lyrics at all, and I talked throughout the whole thing. But it there's just so much going on in the video that it's like, wow, that's just cool. I've never seen a video that portrays the symbolic path of the initiate so well. And it's the spiritual path. It's the path of spiritual development, right? Whatever that spiritual development is, whatever you're trying to do, whatever path you follow, right? It's a psychological process that we go through. It's a psychological process of healing, and it's about sublimating the ego and the false will, which is our I, me, my concept, right? And allowing our perfect self, our subconscious self, our inner self to come to the forefront of our consciousness, which we normally can't do in our normal awakened state. We can't, because our conscious mind is always there. Our conscious mind is always in the way. This is one of the reasons for meditation. This is also, one of the big goals of meditation is to get the conscious mind to, it's also hypnosis, right? Get the conscious mind to step aside to allow the subconscious mind to be able to come to the forefront and work directly with it. And we speak to the subconscious mind through symbols. And so that's what the tarot represents. The tarot is not about telling fortunes. It's not about divination. For these purposes, right? And I'm not going to argue with people who claim it is and say that they use it to tell fortunes and stuff. With all whatever floats your boat, right? I can tell you based on my life experiences that it's not about that. That the tarot is a symbolic book of the human condition. Things were made in symbolic ways because open communication of some of these concepts could get you in a lot of trouble. Because went against a lot of the teachings of certain religious organizations who wanted to dominate and control the world through fear and intimidation and burning people alive. And so a lot of what's in the tarot comes from Qabalah and the ancient Hebrew mysticism. A lot of the symbolism comes from that. And so the symbols are there to talk to the subconscious mind directly and to communicate information to the subconscious mind and go around our conscious awareness, our thought processes, which analyze and put labels on everything. All right, so you have to be able to get past that in meditation. You have to get past that in... It's all the same thing. It's all the same goal. Religion, prayer, meditation, spirituality, magic. They're all the law of attraction, the secret. All of these things attempt to achieve the same goals, the same things. And that is to establish a connection between ourselves and the divine source of all life. In a way, right? So I don't want to preach. I don't want to go on about this stuff. Maybe I should have a separate channel, or maybe I should just do some videos on this topic for people who want to hear about it. Ooh. But it is a fascinating video. I really liked it. I'm gonna have to check out the rest of their stuff. When it said hermetic death rock. I didn't know they meant hermetic. I thought it was like, that term gets thrown out a lot by people who don't really know what it means and don't really know what it's about. So the fact that it really is hermetic makes me go, oh, these guys know something. They clearly do. They clearly have inside information. So yeah, it's very fascinating to me. I'm going to have to do more research into it and check out more of their stuff because it's really, really cool. I got in a big argument once with a guy on a similar topic. This was back in the days of flame wars and bulletin boards before the internet really took off. I don't know. This is maybe the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. It was like a discussion group, a bulletin board, news groups, things like that, before the internet really exploded. Anyway, so I was having this conversation. It was in a spirituality group or something, and I was talking about, we were talking about alchemy. And he was talking about how alchemy was a physical process. That the goal of alchemy was to convert base metals into gold, right? To take lead and make it into gold, and that the old alchemists of old, that's what they were doing. They were just greedy bastards. So that's what they were just trying to turn lead into gold and get rich. And that the goal of doing alchemy today, if you were to conduct alchemical experiments and things, that the goal was purely on the physical plane. It was just about getting rich. And I didn't agree. I said, no, I don't think so. You're seeing a bunch of symbols and you're paying attention to the symbols and you're forgetting the thing that is symbolized. And the whole concept of alchemy and all of the alchemical texts and the processes that they describe may be chemical processes. They are an analogy of the spiritual process of the growth of the human into their true higher self and make yourself a better being, make yourself a better person, make yourself a holier person is the goal of alchemy. The base metal isn't the base metal of lead, physical base metal. Base metal is us. We, in our normal everyday waking state, are the base metal. And the higher metals, the gold, is being connected with divinity, having divinity living within you and being open and having divinity flowing through you and being connected to that energy, raising your awareness to the point where you are face to face with God, whatever you want to call it, whatever that concept is. That's the actual process, the purpose of alchemy. It's symbolized by these physical processes. And so you can do the experiments. You can conduct the chemical experiments and do these things. But all you're doing is a dramatic symbol for the process, the psycho-spiritual process that goes on within us. So burning off the dross, that's not about melting down metals and burning off the bad byproducts that are in there to get to the pure substance. It's a symbolism for the process of us purifying ourselves and getting rid of those negative traits of ourselves. And all the way through the whole process of alchemy and the creating of the philosopher's stone and the red dragon and all these different things that are symbolism in the alchemical process and the state changes that it goes through, from black to red to white and all of these things that the chemicals make as you process them, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't know what I'm talking about. And that's why red, white, and black are key colors in the outfits that the initiates wear in the ceremonies too, right? It's the process, that alchemical process of purification of the self and opening ourselves and allowing the inflow of God or the divinity or the light or the universe or whatever you want to call it into our beings and raising us up to be better people and be better human beings. That's what alchemy was all about. And I don't know how I got on that subject. So, uh, anyway, so I did get in a debate with a guy about that. And I think we settled, the end of the debate was we said, okay, let's meet back in 20 years and see which one of us is right. It's been 20 years. I should probably look for him. He might be really, really rich right now, living in a mansion in Dubai with private jets and chauffeurs and a horde of hookers. And here I am, just being a happy old me. See, I'm happy. I'm happy all the time. I'm happy all the time because I'm in connection with my higher self. Okay, anyway, I don't know if I'm even going to post this. I might not post it because people think I'm crazy. I didn't talk about UFOs. Did I talk about Bigfoot? I think I mentioned him in some video today. I mentioned Bigfoot. Okay, so Bigfoot, UFOs, ghosts. We haven't talked about any of those topics in any of my videos yet, but we should get to it. I should start doing some reviews of some of the TV shows that I watch. Skinwalker Ranch wasn't on this week. Anyway, it was 1476. It was a great song. It was really cool. I liked the song a lot. I just don't know what they were talking about. I need to go read the lyrics and then listen to the rest of that, what's come out. So I think 3 songs from that new album have come out, but they have other albums, so I'm going to go check those out. If you have any questions, you want to talk to me, feel free to leave comments. If you want to talk to me directly, leave me a direct message or contact me through the email. I think you can get to my email. You might not be able to see my email, but you should be able to reach me through email. If you want to ask questions or want to talk to me about this topic or any other topics, but if you really want to talk about the stuff that I'm talking about today, you have any questions, you want to know more about it, just let me know. Like I said, there are no secrets anymore. Aleister Crowley published all the rituals for the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn 100 years ago, and ever since then, there are no secrets anymore. Everything's been revealed, and so, yeah, it should never have been secret anyway. There's nothing about it it doesn't need to be guarded as a secret. I think Aleister Crowley said, you made me go through. He was talking about the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, and how it took years of study and years of memorization of these ceremonies and things, and tables of correspondence, and having to learn Greek and Latin and Hebrew and all of this stuff, and all of that was just so that he could recite the Hebrew alphabet or something. And he's like, seriously, this is it. This is why I spent all these years studying all this stuff, was to get information that I could have got it anywhere. So yeah, it's a big secret. It's a big secret. Doesn't need to be. Shouldn't be. It isn't a secret anymore. It used to be a secret. There's a book called The Secret, and if you read the book The Secret, and you've ever read any of the Hermetic literature, you'll go, I know where they got this. This was the first thing I saw when I watched the film, the film The Secret. And I saw Oprah Winfrey talking about the book The Secret. I said, oh, I'm gonna check that out. And I went, wait a minute. This thing they're calling the law of attraction, I know what that is. I've been doing that for years. And it's just about the power of the mind. Anyway, I should shut up. I'm sure I'll get some interesting comments on this video, if anybody even watches it. So, okay, 1476, Jade Fire. All right, bye. I'm still sitting there going, should I post this? Maybe I won't post this. Maybe I'm just talking to myself. No, I'll post it. I don't care. I'm mostly retired anyway. What am I gonna do? Nobody's gonna hire me anyway. Okay. Buy my mug. Buy my mug. I need to eat. So buy my mug, because after posting this video, no one's gonna hire me. Anyway. Bye.